everyone, this is Lock9, and welcome back to another video on the Grey Build YouTube channel, and today we're going to be taking a look at one of the projects I brought to the Yorktown Grange Fair. Now, I make my way out to travel to this fair to help volunteer every year, and I like to submit some things to their LEGO competition there, just to add a little bit more to the display and give people some creativity ideas. Plus, it gives me a chance to showcase to other people in person what my builds look like. So today we're going to talk about the first of the two that I've submitted for the fair this year, which is Yui the Prismatic Dragon. Now, this is based off of the idea of a chicken, if you couldn't tell already, and it was very difficult to get the proportions right, but first let me let you know why I chose the name Yui. So, as you may know from the amount of chickens on the channel and even on my ninja suit here, you'll notice that I do like chickens, and I've owned quite a few in real life, one of which was named Yui, and that chicken has sadly moved on to the departed since the time of making this video, and I've decided that I would do a slight reincarnation where Yui is now a dragon that I'll be using in the stop animation sequence, and you might see it around the city for some of the city reviews in the future. I'm very proud of how this came out, so let's talk about some of the details. First off, you have the head, which is actually pretty interesting because I made it using a dragon jaw and then a Bionicle piece from Bionicle G2, which is more shaped like a bird than dragon, but the bottom jaw still kind of collides and makes it very interesting. Additionally, I added a red piece up top and some red bricks on the bottom to make it look more like a chicken with the comb and the wattle. And of course, it's connected on some Bionicle joints, which make it pretty easy to move around for stop animation. Moving on to the body, you can see that I've built it in all manners of building with studs on the sides, or studs not on top, or snot bricks, if you will, and because of that, I've been able to texture this in a way that is very bulky, and this does add a lot of weight to the build, but I think it looks good, and I think I've done a pretty good job of mixing the channel's colors up here to have the dark azure and lime green still present. Now, the wings for this model are interesting because they're using these very large sort of helicopter blades, but they're in transparent bright green, which is cool. And I decided to add a whole bunch of different colors to represent the elemental power of Prism, which this dragon does have. I also added some of the elemental blades in the back. They're in blue because they contrast the green quite well in terms of channel colors. And I think the wings overall add a nice splash of color. Additionally, you can even open up the wings and pose them on a mini ball joint, so it does make this pretty easy to move around and can make some very expressive poses, which I'll show one of them off later. Now, for now, we're going to move to the back of the dragon, which has a tail that's designed like the tail of a rooster. You can see here that it's very interestingly designed because of the sort of like curve it has to it. The only problem with this tail is it's completely static. There's no movement to it whatsoever, and it's not really something that I plan on changing because I already have a lot of points of movement for this dragon, and I'm pretty happy with how this came out. While we're here and with the wing up like this, you can see what the legs look like. I tried to recreate the pose of a chicken's leg as perfectly as possible. So we have the bulky, feathery part up at the top, connected to another Bionicle piece, which is connected to another ball joint, and that's connected to the feet, which has 3 large toes in the front and 1 smaller toe towards the back. This does help with stabilization of the build, but it also really does make it feel more like a chicken. Now, as I mentioned before, this is very top-heavy, and these legs I was originally designing to be able to be articulated at the top as well. You technically can still do that, but I did an interesting technique where I used Technic bricks with both the circle and the cross section in it, and I added a small regular lightsaber piece in gold through the middle, and then connected the pieces on the outside using jumper plates. So the lightsaber hilt and the outside circle of the Technic brick are holding the jumper plate in very tightly. You can still move it, it's just a little difficult to do. Now I'm going to get it in a pose, and let's finish up this video. So here's just an example of one of the poses that I did, and yeah, the bionicle joints and ball joint pieces are really carrying the posing for this. But you can see that the posing really does have a lot of personality to the build, and I think it's pretty good. Now, additionally, this did win a ribbon at the fair. It won a blue ribbon, which at the Yorktown Grange Fair just means the equivalent of an excellent ribbon. It's not like best of show or anything, but it means it did really well. And, of course, I'm very happy with this, but that's not the best ribbon I got this year from the fair, so stay tuned for next week, where we're going to take a look at the other build I submitted to the fair, which I'm very proud of, and get that build placed in the LEGO City. But that does it for this video. If you enjoyed this video and love the idea of creating your own dragon, tell me some of your ideas for if you were to create your own dragon. What types of shapes and designs would you go for in the comments down below? I'd love to hear. And additionally, I have plenty more videos coming up in the future for you guys, and you might see this dragon in the future in some of them as well. So, I hope you all enjoyed this video, stay tuned for the next one, and I hope you all have a great day.